What's up, everybody? Piscean here, and in this video we're here talking about wealth and poverty in the natal chart. These are advanced case studies with cross-cultural remedies. Alright, so I made a video specifically on macro market timing, and now we're on to the microcosm of the individual or corporate natal chart, dissecting the exact configurations that predispose toward accumulation or dissolution of material resources. Beyond diagnosis, we integrate a seldom taught dimension, the activation of remedial measures drawn from non-Western esoteric traditions, which treat the chart not as a fixed sentence, but as a field of karmic negotiation. All right, we begin with the philosophy of prosperity and lack. Wealth in the radix is never the result of a single planet, all right? It is a pattern, a self-reinforcing lattice of dignity, aspect, part, fixed star, and harmonic. Poverty, equally, is not a single affliction but a chain of rejected resources, blocked flow, and dead magnetism. This chapter arms you with a forensic protocol that moves from classical Western techniques, essential dignities, Arabian parts, midpoints, declinations, harmonic charts, fixed operands, into practical remedial prescriptions drawn from Vedic, Taoist, African, and Islamic esoteric sciences. The underlying axiom: the birth chart is a diagnosis, the remedy is the treatment. All right, so we have our diagnostic toolkit, advanced significators of wealth and poverty. So before entering the case studies, internalize the full spectrum of indicators we will track. These are our wealth significators. Second house and its ruler, all right? So essential dignity, aspects, and the POF relationship. A dignified second ruler in angle or succedent house applying to a benefic is fundamental. Jupiter and Venus. Jupiter as the greater benefic signifies expansion, while Venus as the lesser benefic signifies liquidity and tangible assets. Their mutual reception, trine, or conjunction with the lunar nodes, especially Rahu, magnifies prosperity. The POF, pars fortunae, is house, sign, and aspect show where the native finds ease and material gain. Conjunct Jupiter, Regulus, or Spica is a classic signature for wealth. All right. Also, the lot of substance, which I say is the ascendant, adding the second cusp, second ruler, or ascendant, and Saturn subtracting Jupiter depending on tradition. It shows accumulated possessions. Fixed stars, Spica, which is 23 degrees Libra on the ascendant, midheaven, or the POF, and Regulus, fixed star Regulus, 29 degrees Leo on the second cusp. Sirius, 14 degrees Cancer, conjunct Jupiter. So our harmonic resonance, a strong 8th harmonic, the material manifestation harmonic, with benefic midpoints, a prominent septile series often seen in self-made fortunes. Declination parallels, Rahu parallel Jupiter, Venus parallel Fortune, Sun parallel Spica. All right, let's talk about poverty, or financial blockage significators. So Saturn in the second house, squaring the second ruler, or afflicting the POF, without strong reception. Saturn here can bring grinding scarcity if overemphasized. Neptune in the second or 8th, leakage, confusion about value, fraud, victimization, or illusory assets. The LOD, or a lot of debt. The ascendant adding the 8th cusp and subtracting Saturn, or Mercury subtracting Saturn adding the ascendant. When heavily aspected by malefics, especially in angular houses, it signals chronic indebtedness. And then Ketu in the second, a karmic consumption of resources, past life reliance that depletes current earning. we see Algol, 26 degrees Taurus on the second cusp. Ascendant, hang on a second, and this is where we get people that don't understand this. If you don't understand the fixed stars, you need to learn them now. This is where we understand, are you really poor? Are you really rich? How financially stable are you? How do you do it? I have Algol conjunct my ascendant. I have this fucking fixed star conjunct my ascendant. Or your POF, losing one's head financially. This happens. You guys, I'm a Taurus ascendant. And you would think with Taurus, from 0 degrees of Taurus to that 29 hit mark, all right? Let's say 2950, for example. You would think Taurus is about wealth and about gains and about maturity, financial maturity. But what we see here is that this zodiac sign and Venus, its lord, these things are being afflicted by a very malefic star, which is not a star you would like to have on your second cusp, especially your ascendant or that POF, because you are guaranteed to see financial issues. All right, so onto a weak moon. The moon rules the public, liquidity, and nurturance. A severely afflicted moon in the 10th or 2nd often marks the rag cycle. Stellium in the 12th with malefics, hidden poverty, self-undoing through escapism. Now here's the thing. You guys know me, hopefully, so you understand that my stellium is in Pisces, at least in my Western chart, which is the sign of self-undoing through escapism, and it is hidden poverty. Pisces is hidden poverty. We see this. It's kind of like the beatnik. That's why I like to write about, like, from like a beatnik's POV on astrology. Just like joking around. If you haven't seen that video, maybe you will. But yes, we're saying the reason I'm highlighting this stellium in the 12th is because when we're talking about the 12th house, we're talking naturally about Pisces and self-undoing, escapism, hidden poverty, all these things that naturally go with this sign. So even stellium in Pisces is what I'm trying to say. Stellium in Pisces, stellium in the 12th house, especially with malefics, good luck. Everybody can get a job but you. Seems like. And it's not because you don't want to, it's because every fucking interview you go on is bullshit, or they just trick you and make you think you're gonna get it when you're not gonna get it, and it's like you're a dog who wants a bone. Anyways, so let's talk about the plutocrat chart of a billionaire philanthropist. So let's say our billionaire philanthropist, he was born September 15th, 1963 at 1422 GMT in Houston, Texas. All right. And this is our tropical geocentric chart. Placidus houses. So we see the ascendant, 16 degrees 57 Capricorn, the MC midheaven, 17 degrees 30 Scorpio, Sun is at 22 degrees 18 Virgo in the 9th house. So off the bat, what do we see with that? Well, such an individual is going to be a very, 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 very good worker. Sun is in a sign of Earth. Ascendant is an Earth sign. but there could be things that go wrong. So moon 7 degrees 19 Leo, and it's in the 7th house. Mercury at 6 degrees 10 Virgo in the 8th house, and it's retrograde. We also see Venus at 11 degrees 19 Libra in the 9th house, which is where the sun is, in Virgo. So we're thinking about planets sharing houses together as well, which we need to really focus up. So Mars is 28 degrees 50 Virgo in the 9th, and it's conjunct the sun. So right off the bat, we're going to see some travel, work related, possibly, like, I don't know, philanthropy, business. Excuse me. So, Jupiter is at 12 degrees 23 Aries in the 3rd house, and it is retrograde. Saturn is at 17 degrees 38 Aquarius in the 1st house. We see Uranus is at 8 degrees 19 Virgo in the 8th house, and it is retrograde. So really quick, we see Jupiter is retrograde. We see Uranus is retrograde. We see Mercury is retrograde. So, and then we see Uranus is retrograde, and it's sitting in that 8th house with Mercury. And then we see Neptune, which is at 13 degrees 44 Scorpio, and it is in the 10th house. We see Pluto at 12 degrees 42 Virgo in the 8th house, with Mercury retrograde and Uranus retrograde. We also see Rahu, 18 degrees 43 Cancer in the 7th, which makes Ketu 18 degrees 43 Capricorn in the 1st, making it the 1st 7th axes. Okay. Advanced wealth analysis. So first off, the 2nd house complex. We always look at the 2nd house first in regards to money. How are they making money? Look at their 2nd house. So 2nd cusp is at 24 degrees 45 Aquarius. The ruler Saturn is in the 1st house, Aquarius, a dignified Saturn in its own sign in an angular house, right? Saturn in Aquarius is the architect of sustainable wealth. It builds slowly but massively. Saturn sextiles Jupiter, 3rd house Aries, exactly within 5 degrees orb. The hard work, Saturn, is constantly fertilized by expansion opportunities, Jupiter. This alone describes the accumulation of capital through infrastructure and innovation, which is Aquarius. When we look at the POF, we see their ascendant is, again, 16 degrees 57 Cap. We add that moon, and we subtract that sun, and we convert to absolute longitude. And then we did more math here. So we got that at the end of the day, we calculated the POF, part of fortune, is in Sagittarius at 1 degrees 58, and it's in the 11th house. So, part of fortune in Sagittarius in the 11th house of gains through networking, it's gains through publishing, right? International ventures and institutional networks. So Jupiter, the fortune dispositor, is in Aries in the 3rd. It is retrograde, but strongly dignified by triplicity, fire. Retrograde Jupiter often delays the fortune until after the first Saturn return, then it explodes. Fortune trines Jupiter exact within 2 degrees and trines the moon 7 degrees Leo, 7th house. The moon translates light from fortune to Jupiter, public emotional connection, which is moon and Leo in the 7th, directly channels into wealth. And this is a lottery aspect for earned fame wealth. Absolutely. Not only is it moon in Leo, but it's moon in the 7th house in Leo. So, now onto our midpoints. So we have our this is what I want to say here. Sun moon midpoint. It equals 29 degrees 48 Virgo, and it falls on the 9th cusp. It's conjunct the fixed star Xenia, which is 29 degrees Virgo and squares the ascendant-descendant axes. The highly active sun-moon midpoint in a mercurial sign shows a talent for converting daily habits into wealth. We see Jupiter-Pluto midpoint. Jupiter is at 12 degrees 23 Aries. We add Pluto, which is at 12 degrees 42 Virgo. We sum, and we get Gemini, 27 degrees 32. And this falls in the 5th house of speculation, exactly trying the 2nd cusp. Aquarius, 24 degrees 45. A classic signature of other people's money turned into massive wealth via leveraged speculation, Jupiter-Pluto. Pluto rules the 10th, Scorpio midheaven, so this midpoint describes the career, 10th ruler, merging with expansion, Jupiter. We see Saturn-Neptune midpoint, all right, and we ultimately get Sagittarius, 0 degrees 41. It's conjunct the POF within 1 degree 17. Now this is profound to me because the conjunction of structure and imagination, Saturn-Neptune, falls on the LOF. So the native builds empires from dreams, but the Saturn-Neptune contact can also bring scandals or disillusionment, a necessary caution. So fixed star Perons. Oops. So Regulus is at 29 degrees Leo, so it's in the 8th house, not angular. However, it conjoins Jupiter by anti-Scion, which, guys, this is where our verbiage comes in. Jupiter at 12 degrees 23 Aries has the anti-Scion at 17 degrees 37 Virgo. Contra anti-Scion, 12 degrees 23 Pisces. So we need to check that contrantation. So Regulus, 29 degrees Leo. Oh, by the way, it's 17 degrees 36 Sag. So Regulus, 29 degrees Leo, contra anti-Scion falls at 29 degrees 59, subtracting 29 degrees exact, and we get 0 degrees 59 Taurus. It's not obviously hitting. We should check the parallels. Regulus declination is 11 degrees 52. Jupiter declination at that date, adding 22 degrees. Nope, let's move to Spica. So Spica, 23 degrees Libra 50. Spica is at 23 degrees 50 Libra in the 10th house whole sign. Place it as 10th cusp is 17 degrees 30 Scorpio, so Spica falls in the 9th, conjunct Venus, 11 degrees 19 Libra by 12 degrees wide. So not tight, but the algorithm here, Venus Spica is a wealth star. And here it gives grace and finance. More relevant is a rising star, with the ascendant at 16 degrees 57 Capricorn, stars rising Vega, which is 15 degrees Cap. 19. It was exactly on the ascendant. Vega's declination, adding 38 degrees 47, gives a Paran with the ascendant. So Vega rising bestows artistic or political leadership and sudden wealth. And this is the star chart of wealth through charisma. All right, harmonic charts. Excuse me. So I do want to go here into where we calculate. So we see Jupiter, we'll start here, at 12 degrees 23 Aries, right? We do some math. We get 19 degrees 32 Taurus in the fourth house, strong Venusian earth sign. The fourth harmonic, excuse me, I don't mean to say the fourth house, I'm so used to houses. The fourth harmonic can be read as a chart if beneficial planets are angular. Wealth manifests. We find the fourth harmonic, Amun Kolai, is at 7 degrees 48 Capricorn, actually. Fourth ascendant from the D4 chart is calculated by multiplying ascendant by 4. So H4 ascendant is Cancer, 7 degrees 48, actually. H4 midheaven is 7 degrees 48 Aries. Venus at 11 degrees 19 Libra. When we do more math, we see 15 degrees 16 Taurus in H4 11th house. Jupiter at 49 degrees 32. We do math and get 19 degrees 32 Taurus, which is also in the 11th. So two benefics in the 11th from H4 get gains through associations. H4 second cusp from Cancer, ascendant is Leo. Ruler Sun in H4, Sun at 22 degrees 18 Virgo. We get 29 degrees 12 Gemini in the 12th. So it's less prominent. The overall signature is solid but not overwhelming. The real power lies in the midpoint and fortune structure rather than pure harmonic force strength. Alright, primary directions. At age 35, around 1998, the directed ascendant reaches 16 degrees 57 Capricorn and 35 multiplied by 1 degree is roughly using the Nabod key. So 351 degrees 57 or 21 degrees 57 Aquarius. Wait, primary direction using solar arc, so Sun moves about 1 degree per year. So by age 35, ascendant directed to about 22 degrees Aquarius, forming a conjunction with Saturn at 17 degrees 38 Aquarius, triggering the natal Saturn in the first, a period of massive responsibility, IPO of a company perhaps. At the same time, directed POF moves from 1 degrees 58 Sag to about 7 degrees Sag, so exactly trine directed Jupiter. That could coincide with the sudden escalation of network fortune. From this dense analysis, key wealth engines are dignified second ruler Saturn in angle, tightly aspecting Jupiter. Fortune in 11th, trine Jupiter and Moon, Jupiter-Pluto midpoint, trine second cusp. Vega heliacal rising. Sun Moon midpoint activating 9th house expansion, no single factor, a chorus. Now remedial measures to enhance wealth from non-Western traditions. Though the native is already wealthy, remedies sustain and ethically amplify prosperity while correcting the chart's hidden shadow. Saturn-Neptune contact on fortune, potential for scandal or loss through deception. Come up with a few different things here. Next, I want to go over someone who's actually in poverty. But I will say, just when I say remedies, I was going to go over like Vedic Jyotish remedies prescribed according to sidereal positions. We convert the tropical to Lahiri Ayanamsa, so it would be 23 degrees for 1963, subtract 23 degrees 20 from all positions. We look at the sidereal ascendant, which is Sag, 23 degrees 37, Mula Nakshatra. Sidereal second lord Saturn is in Capricorn, 24 degrees 18. It's strong, but Jupiter's retrograde in Pisces, 19 degrees 03, becomes a second house significator as well. The chart shows a strong Dana Yoga, Jupiter in third aspecting 9th and 11th. To fortify, we have mantra, gemstone, yagya, fire ceremony, and dawn, charity. A lot of Indian astrology will tell you to donate and like be charitable. So Taoist Chinese metaphysical remedies. Bazi, 4 pillars, right? We're going to go over the Feng Shui, talisman, and then Islamic esoteric remedy. So the native's Venus, for example, is in Libra, tropical. It is a strong benefic. To bind its energy, we have Dikir, planetary prayer, Sadeke. All right. And then we go over our African traditional remedy, Yoruba Ifa Orisha alignment. Charts Capricorn ascendant with Saturn, angular resonates with the Orisha Obalue, the earth healer and accumulator. An offering of a popcorn, palm oil and 9 coins left at a crossroads on a Saturday night with a prayer to Obalue to stabilize the fortune and protect against hidden enemies. Neptune square nodes would reinforce the Venusian flow. Alright, so this is going to be a chart for someone who is in poverty. Someone who's been struggling to obtain financial sustainability. Sorry for all the noise, I have to take care of something real quick. My table's a goddamn mess. Alright, moving right along. Alright. So we see the individual was born July 2nd, 1979, 4:45 GMT in London, in the UK. This is obviously hypothetical, but didactically constructed for maximum poverty indicator density. This is our tropical geocentric chart, Placidus houses. And I'm wondering, for my students watching this, could you guys tell if this individual is poor or not very financially stable based on their placements? All right, that's what we're looking at, based on their natal placements. Can you tell? We see the individual has the ascendant at 28 degrees 19 Gemini. Their midheaven is at 0 degrees 25 Pisces. So, okay, Sun at 10 degrees 10 Cancer, first house, so sitting with the ascendant. Moon, 4 degrees 08 Libra, the fourth house. Mercury at 24 degrees 28 Gemini in the first house, and it's retrograde. Oops. We also see Venus is at 15 degrees 56 Taurus, sitting in the 12th house, with Mars at 22 degrees 34 Taurus, and it's in the 12th house. So we see Jupiter at 24 degrees 31 Cancer in the second house. We see Saturn at 17 degrees 20 Virgo in the third house. We see Uranus at 18 degrees 10 Scorpio in the fifth house. Neptune 17 degrees 44 Sag in the sixth house and retrograde. Then we see Pluto 15 degrees 24 Libra in the fourth house, retrograde. Sitting with Moon. And then Rahu is at 10 degrees 04 Virgo in the third house. Ketu is at 10 degrees 04 Pisces in the ninth house. So how do we see poverty in an individual? Mars is in the 12th house of the subconscious mind and secrets and being in isolation. We also see that Saturn is in the 3rd house. We see the individual has a sun in Cancer, and it's right on that Gemini ascendant. Narrowing down Gemini, because Cancer would like to be comfortable and at home and secure. For a majority of the time, at least. I mean, think about Cancer as a sign. So we look at this analysis here. So, 2nd house and ruler crises. The 2nd cusp at 20 degrees 06 Cancer. Ruler moon in Libra in the 4th house. Moon is not in fall. Scorpio is its fall. But I'd also beg to differ, Capricorn, because you'll become a workaholic. And it might actually kill you. But Moon in Libra is in a Venus-ruled sign. Aspectually opposite its exaltation, it's neutral. However, Moon in the 4th is angular, so some dignity. The critical problem, the 2nd ruler Moon is closely square the Sun, 10 degrees 10 Cancer from the 4th. A waning square. The Moon Sun square, I totally gibbered that, indicates a fundamental conflict between inner security, which is the Moon, and outer ego, which is the Sun, causing erratic income flow. The square is applying Sun at 10 degrees 10 Cancer, Moon at 4 degrees 08 Libra. The waning square is 84 degrees apart, near exact. Moon also opposes Jupiter retrograde, Jupiter at 24 degrees 31 Cancer, Moon at 4 degrees 08 Libra, so no opposition. But Moon squares Sun from the 4th to the 1st. The native's emotional needs, which is the 4th house, Moon, are starved by the shining personality, leading to impulsive spending. Yes, impulsive spending. Alright, but the real blow here, the 2nd house contains Jupiter in Cancer, exalted Jupiter, which normally signifies wealth. Which, in my opinion, I met somebody with Jupiter in Cancer, and I don't mean to put this person on blast because they might be on my channel. I won't say their name, but this individual has a lot of wrestling figures. They have Jupiter in Cancer, exalted, but all this individual does with their paycheck is get wrestling figures for their bedroom. We see this. It really depends on what else is aspecting. What is aspecting Jupiter in Cancer? Because it could be something in Pisces. But anyways, however, Jupiter is retrograde. Okay, so that's the first thing. And it's in Cancer. In its exaltation, yes, but in the 2nd. And it's posited by the Moon, which is square the Sun, and also afflicted by Moon's anti-scion at 25 degrees 52 Pisces. Contra anti-scion 4 degrees 08 Virgo falls in the 3rd house. Conjunct the natal Rahu at 10 degrees 04 Virgo. It's not close. What's more damaging is Jupiter's dispositor Moon is squaring the Sun. So the exaltation is corrupted. And this is the false wealth signature. So expectations of abundance that never solidify. This is what happens. Jupiter can be exalted, and that exaltation can be gone like that. It's still in your birth chart, but it is being afflicted. That's what we say. It's being afflicted. So, furthermore, the lot of debt, or LOD. Formula used is the ascendant adding the 8th cusp, subtracting Saturn. We see the 8th cusp. We see the ascendant. We do a lot of math here. So we ultimately get to find out that Libra, 25 degrees 48, falls in the 4th house. squarely opposite Mars, 22 degrees 34 Taurus, and square the second cusp. By square, the LOD is in Libra, ruled by Venus, fallen in the 12th house. So this means the native's debt is hidden, the 12th house Venus, and linked to pleasure, beauty, expenses. The opposition from Mars and Taurus, ruler of the 10th and 5th, indicates debt triggered by speculative ventures and career gambles. Venus in the 12th, addiction to ease. Venus in Taurus is indignity, but in the 12th house, a classic sleeping beauty placement. Money spends on escapes, secret indulgences, and a blind spot about value. Mars in 12th conjunct Venus adds impulsive hidden spending. Both disposited by the second ruler. No, Venus rules Taurus, so Venus itself is the general money significator, and its 12th house placement corrupts the entire financial flow. Saturn afflicting the money houses. Saturn in Virgo in the 3rd opposes the MC and squares Neptune and Sag in the 6th. So Saturn-Neptune squares the poverty consciousness aspect, despair, self-sabotage, unrealistic fears. Saturn also quincunxes Pluto, an adjustment that never resolves, bringing death cycles through housing, the 4th, and hidden power struggles. Fixed stars. Algol at 26 degrees Taurus is in the 12th house, conjunct Venus. 15 degrees 56 Taurus by 10 degrees, not tight but within orb. More critically, the second cusp ruler moon's dispositor Venus is conjunct Algol. Algol is the losing one's head star. Here it means the native's ability to earn is beheaded by hidden enemies or psychological collapse. Ketu in Pisces in the 9th shows past life dissipation of faith-based wealth. In this life, it turns to escapist belief systems that drain money. Right, POF. So Fortune in Capricorn suggests gain through partnerships and discipline. It's ruled by Saturn, heavily afflicted. There's a path. It's only after Saturn matures and after serious remedial work. Fortune's degree squares Neptune by just over 14 degrees, not exact but wide. The dispositor Saturn is square Neptune, so Fortune is poisoned by the Saturn-Neptune dynamic. In summary of poverty luck, so exalted Jupiter wasted by debilitated moon dispositor. 12th house Venus-Mars, blind spot. Saturn-Neptune poverty consciousness. Algol on the money significator. And a debt lot angular and squared by Mars. So essentially this chart maps classic perpetual lack unless deep structural remedies are applied. And we would use our Vedic remedies. We'd go over our Chinese metaphysical approach, Islamic Sufi remedial practice, Native American Lakota remedy, African Hoodoo folk remedy, and then we have our synthesis here. Essentially, the advanced practitioner realizes that a chart is not a life sentence but an interactive field. The poverty case shows that even a heavily afflicted financial landscape can be rebalanced when we overlay a multi-tradition remedy stack. The wealth case, conversely, demonstrates that even a billionaire's radix harbors a Saturn-Neptune time bomb, and that continuing remedial maintenance is that what distinguishes lasting dynasties from one-generation wonders. We have here a system that transcends culture, diagnose the cosmic impediment with rigorous modern and classical techniques, then prescribed from the world's esoteric pharmacies. The Picatrix referenced in our keynote would have us engrave a planetary talisman at the elected hour. The Vedic astrologer would have us chant the Baija, the Taoist master a Feng Shui cure, the Muslim mystic a Digar. All are vibrations that restore the broken symmetry between the native soul and the cosmos. Any next generation app, as described in the preceding keynote video, should contain a remedy engine that upon analyzing a chart checks the second ruler's strength, the POF, the debt lot, and afflicted midpoints, then generates a personalized remedy package pulling from multiple traditions, ranked by astrological suitability, cultural openness, and ease of execution. Next, I would like to go over the Ascendant Wealth Codex, Advanced Financial Manifestation Astrology, a Deacon-Specific Guide to Prosperity Activation by the Ecliptic Institute. All right. Now, wealth is what we will be talking about more on this channel, probably for the rest of the year. Not all the time, but more. So, I will see you in the next video. With peace and love, Piscean out.